Now that the models are done and the textures make them camera ready, it's time to add lights to the scene to prepare how it'll come together in the final look. V-Ray is a rendering package that comes with its own light, so it's best to proceed using V-Ray lights first. First thing is the V-Ray physical sun in the sky, essentially a large globe-based light that will surround the entire scene and fill it with light. This and the ambient light that I put in the center will make sure that all the spaces are filled with a reasonable amount of light, which will help fill the shadows and control how bright the darkest points are. For the realistic and primary lighting in the scene, it's best to emulate how the scene would be lit in real life. Most of the garages for my reference images are lit with long overhead fluorescents hung from the ceiling, so I think the best alternative is the V-Ray area light. Area lights are typically rectangular and distribute light very evenly from the direction they face, so they'll make a great proxy for long fluorescent-style lights. 3 area lights on the ceiling should go above the doors. Another, smaller and less powerful area light will serve as the hood light for the workbench. The workbench's overhead lights come with these cylindrical shades, so for the light bulb style, I'm thinking a low wattage halogen style bulb like these should do the job. To emulate the shape, I'm using a slightly squished V-Ray sphere light to form the sphere into a similarly shaped round. Duplicating these lights will help keep them consistent, so the light table will look balanced and clean. I was pretty satisfied with the lights at this point, so it's time to set up cameras for rendering. I want shots that show off the suits, the fire truck, and the workbench, so I'll add cameras that show those and add some animation to make each of those shots a little bit more compelling. Now that I have the shots prepped, it's time to check how the lights are shaping up for the final shots. To give just a little more of a special view to the suits, I'll add a spotlight above each suit, with a pale yellow light, just to enhance the look, and a very gentle and gradually fading drop-off, so the lights don't look too sharp, and just provide a nice soft glow to really raise the heroic feeling of each of the suits. There's a few more small changes to make in the V-Ray settings, like just a few more tweaks to the GI and final gathering settings, which affect how many light photons are produced from each light, how many times they bounce, how they decay, and how they gather together at the end of the photon motion to reduce noise in the final render. A good way to place and quickly test lights is to use the V-Ray IPR, which allows a small yet versatile demo of the render to show directly in the viewport. Now I'll sample the renders to see how they look and make any final adjustments as necessary. Play blasts are a quick way to look at how the camera movements and animations will look, so I'll make a few of those to make sure everything's ready to go. For the batch render, I'll generate a series of lossless PNGs, one for every frame in the animation. Then I'll set them up to play back at the original 24 frames per second. Because of the photon-calculated lights, renders are going to take a long time, so I set them up on the school's computer servers and set up an auto-clicker to keep the machine active so it didn't log me out for inactivity. Now to just wait for the render. Oh god, it's been so long, but here's the polished work. After the renders have been completed, I'll polish them by color correcting them just a bit to get the lights, shadows, and color exactly how I want it. Now to drop them into the timeline, and my voiceover is being recorded before I edited this part, so I'll say they look great without watching them yet. Wow, not bad. Over the scope of this project, I've worked on all the core skills in the production timeline and demonstrated how the pipeline process works. I'm hoping to continue working on this project to build special gear racks and some of the original Firehouse features that I envisioned, so I'm excited to see how this project continues to evolve.